Welcome to the final stretch of today's program. A group of youth from Akpampa and Akpabuyo local government area of Cross River State have taken to the streets in a peaceful protest against the non-implementation of the 80% local content policy by the Lafarge Holding Cement Company. Carrying placards with different inscriptions, the aggrieved youth terminated their procession at the palace of the paramount ruler of Akpampa, where they voiced their displeasure.
The youths from 6 host communities within Akpampa and Akpabuyo local government area of Cross River State say they're pained by the marginalization encountered by their people and are demanding that the company replicates what it has done in Iwekoro, Ogun State, and Ashaka in Gombe State in their own communities. The youths are accusing the cement company of marginalizing their people by removing them from the scheme of important affairs of the company. They're also demanding that the company signs and implements a corporate social responsibility agreement and have 75% involvement in environmental impact assessments conducted by Lafarge. They also want one of their kinsmen employed as human resource director, since the Calabar branch of the company is the biggest plant in West Africa.
We have been marginalized in this company. First, my option is the headquarters of Lafarge should be returned back to Calabar. It's the biggest cement industry Lafarge has in the whole West Africa. The headquarters must be in Calabar, in Cross River State. 2, the parking plan must be looked at. The 80% local content must be implemented like it's been done in every other cement industry. They have Ashaka and Iwekoro, which 80% local content is being implemented there. We want it here too.
The paramount ruler of Akpampa, His Royal Majesty Clement Emaib, agrees that it was high time the company looked inward for employment rather than employing people from Rivers and Lagos states.
We are praying for development in Cross River State. We are very much cheated. Very high cheated. Our boys are not right from, let's say, headman or head of labor. Or we want peace. We want cooperation. We want development. And this area is big enough for them to establish the quotas for workers, for them to open a quota here to develop this area.
Reacting to the protest, the Director of Communications and Public Affairs, Lafarge Africa PLC, Mrs. Folashade Ambrose, says the company appreciates the stand of the people and promises to take their concerns back to management.
We came here today to listen to the community, and from listening, what I also said is that we thank them for their candor, we appreciate their stand, and what we will do is to take all that information away and go back and come back to the community later on with the way forward.
As the host communities await a positive outcome, they've pledged to a better working relationship with the community and the company.
You're watching news across Nigeria. The attention of the federal government has been drawn to the seemingly low business activities at some of the nation's seaports. The managing director of the Nigerian Ports Authority, Mrs. Hadiza Usman, who is touring facilities in the Niger Delta region, is recommending building business partnerships with neighboring countries. Speaking at the Warri and Port Harcourt ports, she wants the cooperation of the state governments and other stakeholders for a chance to revamp the sector. The state of Nigeria's seaports is considered critical to the performance of the maritime sector. In Delta State, the Nigerian Ports Authority, the NPA, has promised an upgrade of the facilities. At the Warri port, the general manager points out the challenges they face.
Even from 8, 9 and 10 meters years ago.
Responding to some of the issues raised, the managing director of the NPA, Hadiza Usman, says revenue leakages will be blocked.
I would like to know what will form the huge differential between revenue generated and revenues collected. And we'll also look at ways and mediums to prevent such from happening. Whatever is generated should be the amount collected less, a very minimal amount that will be a function of possible reconciliation.
Meanwhile, the NPA took a tour of the ports in Port Harcourt in River State. The chairman of the board of the NPA says low business activity is a worrisome factor.
While at the new port, out of 900, not to lie, 980 and something meters, I don't know now if it is 982, 987 meters of length, I have basically only 2 berths out of 6 where I can berth the vessel even with 5.8.
These visits are embarked on with a view to increasing revenue generation, having assessed the opportunities and challenges at the nation's seaports. And in the oil and gas sector, the Minister of State for Petroleum, Dr. Ibeka Chiku, has condemned in very strong terms recent pipeline attacks by militants in the Niger Delta region. 3 attacks have taken place over the last 3 weeks, even while efforts were going on to prepare ground for dialogue. The minister is particularly peeved with the militants over the attack on the Forcados export pipeline. According to him, quote, despite months of intensive personal and collective efforts to engage all stakeholders to begin exploring opportunities for deepening dialogue, these attacks have continued. End of quote. The minister further requests militants and leaders from the Niger Delta to embrace the path of peace and dialogue and shun acts that further create difficulties for the country. And that's where we leave it for this edition of News Across Nigeria, where we report what's happening across the country now. I'm Olumide Macaulay. Thanks for watching and have a great weekend.